Josh made over $100,000 a month in high ticket sales and now teaches others exactly how to do that. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through all of the strategies, systems, and funnels that he uses in his business, Unicorn Closer, to show other closers how they can do the same. He's trained 8-figure sales teams such as Alex Hormozi's gym launch business and shown them how they can improve their sales. His main focus is scaling his business while sharing value across social media so he can scale his client base. Now, the first step to scaling any business is attracting new traffic. He attracts traffic through the main platforms of Instagram, YouTube, and then he runs some meta ads. He then uses his content to move these leads through his sales process, educate them, and bring them around to the point of ultimately converting into essentially being a customer. Now, his Instagram is set up in a really specific way. To begin with, he has 100,000 plus followers that gives him a huge amount of credibility. You'll notice in his bio, he then pushes forwards more authority and results. For example, trained Alex Hormozi's gym launch sales team, made $100K per month as a high ticket closer. If you're in high ticket sales or wanting to get into this, seeing this, it essentially shows you someone that's already done what your goal is. You instantly have some aspect of trust because you can see that they followed the steps that you want to take. You'll notice his call to action is linking off to a landing page here where you can click and essentially apply. A big thing here is there's one link. There's not a link tree with loads of different links. It creates confusion. There's one link, one outcome, one goal. You'll notice that then on his story highlights, he's posting wins, role plays, and podcasts. Across his content as well, you'll notice that he's educating but also showing the lifestyle that is possible when you are a high ticket closer. You'll notice in some of his Instagram stories, he essentially uses this to sell. He has an intro, he then pushes credibility with wins and client results. He has a call to action, more proof, more CTAs, more behind the scenes of the program. He essentially uses his stories to subtly sell his program and make more sales. You'll notice that everything goes to one key link. He's not got loads of different funnels that create confusion, one key link. What he could also do is he could look at getting leads to reply to stories and then having automated chat sequences off the back of this. Sometimes Instagram penalize your views a little bit if you have links on stories because you're taking people away from their platform. They want to keep people on their platform, so you can use call to actions to vote on polls, to tap stickers, to get people to reply to the story, and then you can have automations that pick up the rest of the workload for you. Now, the purpose of these stories are to essentially build know, like, and trust and pre-sell before that lead clicks the link and ultimately applies. This not only means that show rates will be higher, close rates will be higher, and the ability to sell at a higher price point will be higher because that lead is far more bought in than being a completely cold prospect. To add to this, on Instagram, his content is a mixture of a few different styles. Reaction videos, reacting to other people's sale advice, and he adds his own insights to then look like an authority figure. He then has casual value where he's seated, talking directly at the camera with edits. Credibility posts where he uses proof of gym launch results and other clients. Talking head, which are the most popular. They're pure value, no fluff, direct sales advice. They're raw, and especially in today's marketing landscape, people seem to like raw content more than highly edited. They feel more relatable to it. What he then also does, which he subtly sells his program, is he posts cool clip recordings from coaching to then essentially give a preview of the program and show the value that he's giving. He then also does some B-roll value with quotes and visual overlays. Essentially a bit of an overview here. Then you'll notice he does similar on his YouTube channel. His YouTube content is essentially in tiers where he has top of funnel, which is broad, motivating topics, mindset, elite performance habits. The goal of this is to literally get eyeballs on the channel. He then uses a middle funnel, which is more direct sales, training, and credibility. Watch this if you're tired of inconsistent commissions. The goal is to show expertise, and then potentially off the back of this, he can then push people into lead magnets and free opt-ins to capture data. Then we have bottom of funnel, which the goal of this is to show insights into the program, to essentially give value at the same time, but also subtly sell the program. The goal of this would then be to have a call to action to directly apply to work with him and his team. You'll see that everything is very clearly designed. And alongside this as well, he has one clear call to action. There's not loads of different links with loads of overwhelm. There's one clear call to action so that there's less decision fatigue from the lead's perspective. Now you'll notice that all of these link off into this one main funnel, the Unicorn Closer Mastermind. Click here to join. There's not overwhelm, there's not an endless page, it's simple, and you can clearly see what the next steps are. There's always a difference in funnels between a funnel that looks visual and a funnel that actually converts. You can combine the two, and we need to realize that simplicity is often the best thing when it comes to scaling traffic. You'll notice here that he has a huge amount of social proof at the top, and you've got to realize that this is desktop version. So when this is on mobile version, generally there'll be one video after another, so it will stack up a huge amount of social proof by the time they've scrolled down. And alongside this, by this point, they've consumed a huge amount of content. So they're already bought into Josh and his whole persona. By the time that they get on here, they're a lot more bought in and ready to ultimately buy. Because he then uses a huge amount of proof and then backs it up with all the different businesses that he's worked with and the credibility that he has, he looks at selling people direct into this without a sales call. Which for the majority of businesses, it would be very hard selling at these price points without a sales call unless you have a huge amount of credibility. You'll notice here that there's basically a two-step order form. You essentially submit your contact details and then your card details. Now, chances are off the back of this, he'll be able to capture some data from the initial opt-in and then have a follow-up sequence to follow up to them if they've filled out their contact details but not actually pulled the trigger and added their card details to purchase. Something like this would be huge if there isn't in the background, because selling at a higher price point, you'd scoop up a lot of traffic without needing to do anything. You could automate an email, an SMS, a WhatsApp, or even an outbound call to those that do that but don't actually purchase. Now, the key principles to think about that Josh uses in his funnels is it's crystal clear niche. It's clear who he's working with. There's not confusion who his target market is. A relentless amount of proof. Their social proof is on every single stage. He has a content ecosystem. He doesn't just rely on one platform, he has multiple platforms that all work together. He uses story-based selling where client results lead to the pitch. A two-step order form to maximize lead capture before payment and then having the ability to follow up accordingly. He then has back-end monetization where the mastermind will upsell into multiple different revenue streams. Now, alongside this, to take it one step further, he then uses paid ads to sell even more people from his audience into his offers. He uses testimonial ads where it's students sharing real stories, story ads with Josh in the corner scrolling through wins and CTAs. Chances are this would be to a warm audience where he would be retargeting the audience that he already has on his platform into this offer. He probably wouldn't run this to a cold audience because he lets his content do the workload for him. And you'll notice from an ad perspective that he's not just running one ad and hoping that it works. He's got multiple different ads so he can then split test. He increases his chances of success by having multiple ads rather than just one and having a 50-50 chance of it working. We're in August now and these have been live since July, so there must be some proof and some sales from this to warrant him continue running them, so they must be somewhat profitable. Because he also has the ability to upsell into different revenue streams after people purchase, he can then be happy breaking even on the front end, knowing that he can upsell on the back end. Depending on what his offers are on the back end, that can then mean that he can spend more on the front end to acquire even more customers, knowing that he'll then increase the value on the back end and increase their LTV. You'll notice as well, because of his offer being a sales closer, he can target a broad age range. It's not something that is specific to just a lower age range or a higher age range. It's broad, so he's targeting 21 to 65 plus, all genders worldwide, and then chances are, can't see this from Facebook ad side, but chances are he's targeting a retargeting audience and scooping them up to sell them. And then as with everything, this all funnels directly back through into the same funnel. If he's not already, it would make a lot of sense to have specific UTM tracking links so he can then track not only where each lead comes from, but then from an ad perspective, he can track which ad they come from. So he can then get really granular on which piece of content is performing, which ad is performing, and then he can double down on ad spend on that certain ad and audience, and then double down on that certain type of content. So to summarize the brand foundation, core identity, unicorn closer is positioned as a rare, elite, high ticket closer. The authority points, he's earned 100K a month in commissions as a closer, trained Alex Hormozi's sales team at gym launch, leading them to record months. He posts lifestyle and no fluff, straight to point sales trainings. He's positioned as speaking directly to closers, hitting a commission ceiling, and working long hours stuck in a loop. The dream state that he helps clients reach is becoming a top closer, higher closer rate, more income, and more freedom. You'll notice that he uses a simple structure to funnel people into sales and ultimately scale his business.